So this is an update video and also a recap on what happened and why my uploads are going to be slower for a while and why I need help. A few days ago, I was driving back from a repair shop on some backcountry roads, following Tyzik home in my car. I was lagging behind a little, taking it easy and letting the car breathe as the engine temperature was getting a little high and I got caught by a light. The last I saw of the group of cars in front of me was them disappear quickly over an overpass hill. The area was 55 miles per hour, which is insane with how quickly the visibility dropped off. I was going around 42, probably slower as I climbed that hill, actually. Right as my short car peeked over the hill, I am met with a line of cars actually parked on the steep slope due to someone up front at the start of the line brake checking everybody. I slammed on my brakes, and the tires screeched, skidded all the way down the hill and into the back of our Jeep. The guy who brake checked the line then sped off, and while we pulled over to recover, that was it. No witnesses stayed, and it was all in the middle of nowhere with no cameras around. So, as far as our insurance goes, there's absolutely nothing they can do. And now we are in need of repairs on both vehicles. The LeBaron, the car that I was driving, was damaged the most as, a while back, the US had this brilliant idea to de-standardize the height of bumpers. So rather than absorbing most of the impact where it was supposed to, the Jeep's bumper met my headlights and grille, whereas only the trailer hitch actually made contact with the bumper, putting a nice puncture hole in the front. Now, we are both mostly okay. I got hit pretty hard in the chest due to how hard the seatbelt grabbed me, but that's okay. There are no airbags in K cars this old, so I'd much rather have an overly aggressive seatbelt hurt my chest than to have hit my head on a metal steering wheel. But the car is not in condition to drive. Even if I wanted to get another part-time job or even quit YouTube for a while for a full-time job to pay for the repairs, I can't. Remember, I live in the US. So something I keep forgetting about is how vastly different countries and even different states are in terms of just how they're laid out. So I say we take out this bike that I just filled up the tires in, and this is what I've been using to go around town, like my old and local town, and set up the GoFundMe with the bank and send mail to places that actually still require snail mail instead of just emailing them. I don't know why that's even still a thing in 2025, but it is, so it's all right. For this tiny local area, this thing's perfectly fine. Taking this thing to just the town over, let me show you what that would look like, all right? All right, it is hot as hell out. It is not 72 like it said. But, do you see the distance here? This is actually one of the shorter roads going towards the next town. It is 55. There is no bike lane. There's barely room for the two cars themselves to pass. If we were to go with just the next town over, it's probably 5 miles. It could be a lot shorter if you take the back roads, of course. But again, no sidewalks, no places to bike. Now, where I live, hopefully I'm not doxing myself here, but this place is fantastic. They strictly enforce sharing the road with cyclists, and that's awesome. A place like this in Ohio is unfortunately the exception, not the norm. I'm very grateful to be in a small town that's so chill like this, and everyone here, almost everyone, is super nice. A bike this old would have never had a wide-angle mirror like this, but I put this on here after the third time I was almost run over and driven off the road by a trucker blowing black smoke in my face and flipping me off. And that was in this town. That's just the kind of people who pass through sometimes, unfortunately. I'm really not trying to be dramatic, but I do not feel safe cycling to another town. What we usually do is throw these in the back of the Jeep and drive there and go on designated trails, because that's the only place I know I'm not gonna get run over. And if it's not places where they forgot the sidewalks exist, then it's back roads where the side of the road is falling off and it's 40
45. And that's the thing about Ohio is like, it's either all woods or cornfields. So there are long distances, even in like small places like this, just to go from like one side of the town to the other. And the only reason I'm on this road is because there are a ton of these little like gravel areas you can pull over right here. So I don't have to worry about getting hit by a car over these hills where you definitely can't see a biker coming, because that's just a left turn right up into a hill and then hello bike, bam. So I'm not going over near that hill. I'm not super thrilled about going back this way because that's just a ditch that goes probably like, oh, I don't know how deep it is actually. I still don't know. I can't see how far down that goes, but that keeps going down. But like, it's still such a nice place to live. I'm super grateful for where I am and the people around me. It's just like, I hope you understand that where I live, this is a car-centric world, and a bike just, it's nice to go on leisurely rides, but it's not gonna cut it going all over the place. This road is actually quite a bit nicer than the one that the collision was on. You see, because like you see all these bumps and hills, you see the terrible state of it. You know to go slow. You know that 45 is out of its freaking mind, right? Where I was at, it had a huge dip in the road that came back up and leveled out. It looked like the road kept going straight and just had a small divot. Had no idea it could hold a line of cars down in that pit before going over the hill. Falling apart back roads like this, I still prefer these over the one I was on, because at least this one wears that it's dangerous on its sleeves. No warning, no signage, no nothing. Which is why, again, I'm saying like this place is kind of nice actually, despite a couple of issues. Dips like this that could definitely hide a biker, and I'm gonna get through here quickly. And then we go back up, and just like that, that dip did not know, you would not know that even a car is there, let alone a biker. And something much worse than that is what I dealt with.
So yeah, you absolutely need a car to do anything around here. And, well, to be able to afford the repairs to your car, you need to have a car. Great. So basically, unless we can repair this car, I'm actually stuck. Every job around here requires a car to go to, and most are by highway, which that is definitely not happening right now. We have been living kind of check to check here in this economy, like so many others, and we had a good budget set, but making monthly payments on a new car is absolutely out of the question. I've always had a problem asking for help, and I'm so scared that someone else is going to put themselves out too much and get themselves stuck in a situation like I am in right now. But I can't just keep rolling with the punches and putting on a brave face anymore. I really do need help. We both do. And everyone has been so much more generous and understanding than I ever thought. And I feel like I'm finally brave enough to post this video knowing that there's still such good and kind people out there, even though I really don't want to post a video like this. I don't like people worrying about me. I don't like asking for help. It's just something I've always had. I just don't know what to say to all of the love that everyone's been sending me, though. I've been reading all of your comments, and I really want to do something special for everybody and do anything I can to give back to my community. If there's anything you guys want, just tell me, okay? I'll try to save all that for a follow-up video, though, so we don't get too off track, but I recorded this video here to show what exactly happened to the car and to avoid any confusion, because I know those old cars don't really show their damage on the surface, so here's a much closer look, or at least as close as I can get without breaking off the front to get underneath the hood. To answer some comments that I got, no, this front end cannot just be bent back into shape. You see, this entire front piece here is fiberglass. This is not something that's going to bend back. This is something that's going to snap and break. The outer part of the bumper here is plastic,
That's not metal either. Not to mention it got punctured by the trailer hitch here. This piece could probably maybe be reused. It would just look a little ugly, but the bumper underneath this is pretty badly bent. And I'm sure that the shocks are completely destroyed on it. So if this thing was ever in a front-end collision again, it would be extremely dangerous to not replace this. Thankfully, I think this piece here, it's not working, but I think it's just a broken bulb. We used to meme this, and we weren't serious. We were like, oh, well, you know, in the future, we're going to be saying, oh, you know, they don't make plastic like they used to. They don't make plastic like they used to. This piece is actually intact. The hood, I'm not sure if this can be bent back. It doesn't look like there's any really bad creases in it, but I don't know what the underside looks like. And that's the whole problem. This is shoved all up over this, and there is no way to actually release the hood. It actually is already released. That's just not going anywhere. There's some other things that aren't great, like that. That could be better. God, give it credit though. It lived. I don't believe that the passenger side is working though. Yeah, that's not having it. That could just be a bad contact though. Or the motor could be completely messed up, who knows. Does it close all right? Oh yeah, it's fine. How about this guy, aside from the window? Yeah, actually, that's not bent at all, thank God. And while we're at it, let's get the fuel pump a couple of times. Oh. That wasn't working earlier. Don't worry, this is normal. LeBarons just do this. You just have to pump the fuel pump a few times. Alright, maybe a couple more. Oh, there we go. As you can hear, the exhaust is broken, so it's pretty loud. But the engine did survive. It's firing on all cylinders, it's working. You can kind of smell the exhaust coming from the front though. But yeah, just kind of giving a better look at what actually happened to it. And don't worry about that, it like raising RPM and lowering it. That's it just sucking in air. It's a very sensitive air-cooled engine. That's completely normal. It always does that. Other things that would be nice while we're at it, speaking of things that it always does, this is not related to the crash whatsoever, but this would be something nice to get while we're at it. The window tracks in these back windows, these old LeBarons, they didn't used to have these. They got pressured by journalists saying that like, oh, this big space is so ugly and passengers have no view. So they kind of half-assed threw these back windows on here, and the window tracks in these things are plastic and brittle and awful, and they always just like break and do that. That's normal. Unfortunately, that's something that would be nice though. Oh, almost forgot. The connecting rod. Right here. Hello. Windshield wipers doing whatever. I'm just letting it run for a second to top off its battery. Let's see if the lights survived. I actually have no idea. Yeah, that cigarette lighter is the lights. I'm not even kidding. Oh, look at you. Yeah, I know that one's broken. Oh yeah, and this guy, this is, it's hanging on by a thread. That little spring there's the only thing holding it together. Well, we should check the other lights too. Look at that. While we're at it, this poor dusty thing. Let's move this out of the way. Oh, look, it's even spraying wiper fluid. And this part here didn't get got. We'll just do that by hand. So yeah, there's a lot of work to do, but I'm gonna shut it up. I think it's topped off its battery enough. The locks work. Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of work to do, and there's probably even more than we're seeing. So I probably lowballed it. I was just going off of what I thought the parts would be worth. I didn't even consider labor or anything, but as you can see, I'm pretty sure this thing's salvageable. I mean, like, it runs. Everything up here is intact. It's just a little messed up. And I don't think this door's out of alignment. That closed really nice. I think this whole panel is out of alignment. But yeah, that's basically what we're looking at. Oh, I also forgot to mention the broken seat frame, but honestly, that's whatever. That's just a weld job. I wouldn't even worry about that. According to a good mechanic that I know, I probably really lowballed the price of getting this fixed. Basically, only looking at the price of the parts and not the work that would go into actually fixing this. So even though the parts goal was reached, there is still more to go, I'm afraid, especially with the other vehicle considered. But oh my god, how quickly we reached that made me dearly cry. I really felt like my life was basically over, because if you can't afford a working car here, it becomes really, really hard to get another job to pay to fix that car. It's just, what is this feedback loop? Ugh, I don't even want to think about it. I also really don't want to let a piece of history like this car die. I know they aren't worth much, but there's not a lot of these left. Just less than 10 years ago, their scrap value exceeded their Blue Book value, even for mint examples. So we saw hundreds of thousands of these in perfectly good condition go to the crusher, because people could potentially buy one that's in like new condition, crush it, and make profit. And now, only that they are rare has their value raised enough that that's no longer viable. But not really enough that it's actually an expensive car. So they are very easy to total still. So the remaining survivors are quickly dying off one by one due to a lack of donor parts and the fact that their value still is not that high. So my plan right now is call as many scrap yards and dealers as I can to find another rough condition K-car and maybe combine their best parts before those are scrapped and melted down. And that's what I've been doing right now. With as few of these left as there is at least one silver lining. Chrysler was really cheap with their cars back then. They were almost bankrupt. So basically all of the cars they produced from the early to mid 80s, they all use the same parts and are built on the same frame. They might not always look the same, but they'll always fit. And for a few comments that I've gotten, let me also tell you what I am not going to do. I am not going to put a new engine in it, even if we somehow go over budget. First of all, as you heard, the original engine survived. If it's undamaged by the collision, then I'm not going to ask for that. And I don't care that it's an old engine. That just means that it's an easier design to work on. I also really don't care that the engine's underpowered. The car weighs almost nothing. It doesn't need anything more than it has. Granted, K-cars used to have really, really bad engines in them. But this one here, this is the best one they ever put in these from the factory. It's fine. Basically, anything over what we were expecting is going into the cars to repair their damage. And beyond that, I'm straight up giving it back to the community somehow. We don't need to make these things fancy. We don't need to make them better than they were. We just need to repair them. That's it. Besides,
We still need to see what the Jeep that Tyzik drives might need. It's an absolute tank, but I'm sure it's going to need something, even if it's not showing it on the surface yet. You don't just take a hit like that and drive away with absolutely nothing wrong. Especially since it's been driven outdoors in Ohio weather almost every day for a quarter of a century now. Something's gotta be wrong. We're just not seeing it yet. So it's a mess, and it's gonna be a lot to deal with for a while. So yeah, there's an update on what's been going on. I hope you guys understand why videos might be slower, because I'm gonna be busy dealing with this for a while, and I gotta be real, it's a pretty stressful situation too. But you guys, I can't thank you enough. You're making it so much easier for being here for me and even just listening. It all means so much. Shoot, I don't know how to end a video like this. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank everybody for being here for me. Whether you've donated or are just a viewer just listening and understanding what I'm going through, all of it means so much to me.